Hey guys, what's going on? It's Nock. Welcome along to the Spanish Grand Prix, and for a kickstart of the weekend to get us in a good mood, Chris actually gave us some pretty good information that our latest update was successful. New ignition system. Anyway, on to practice, and we initially went out on the medium tyres to try and do the track acclimatization test, and didn't exactly get off to the best of start, which was kind of going to set the tone for most of practice and qualifying actually through the weekend. It's a good job we've got kind of like an unlimited supply of these wings and different bits and pieces, because the amount of times we planted it into the wall this weekend was crazy. But yeah, there is number one, as you can see, brand new front wing. But we went back out on the hard tyres again, and we managed to score a 375 to get our acclimatization test correct. Sorry, 370. Onto the tyre wear, and as with most tracks so far this season, we had no issue whatsoever keeping it in the purple and getting a perfect on the tyre wear test. This is the fuel saving test, and we actually had to go to lap 3 for this one though. This one I wasn't meeting the time unfortunately, but we managed to get a green and finish P1 down in 16th place. On to P2, and it was the race pace simulation again. Pretty good. We got a perfect score on that in the optimal pace, so things are looking good for our preparation so far. And this was a hairy moment. We was trying to do the qualifying test, and we just massively went off track at the beginning of the third sector there, as you can see, but we managed to recover to the track quite nicely. But further around on the lap, end of sector 1, we were sideways once more. Kept it out of the barrier though, which is, you know, the guys in the garage were grateful of that. But yeah, we wasn't really feeling it at the minute on the qualifying test on these soft tyres. Just went way out too wide, and yeah, didn't even make it around the corner. At the end of P2, we had this moment right here. Went far too deep into the corner, got onto the sort of painted area, and just lit up the back tyres, spun the back of the car, and into the barrier. There was no coming back from that one, so that was the end of P2. On to P3 though, trying still desperately to get a time on the qualifying, but yeah, as you see, we're in the barrier once more. That's the third brand new wing of the weekend, as you can see right there. Don't really know, we just went out wide I think, and then caught the curb, and yeah, spun the car. So yeah, excellent stuff, not excellent stuff. But back out, because I was determined we had to get something in there, but no, the qualifying test was not to be. As you can see, we actually totally smashed the car up here, and this time there was no coming back from it, terminal damage, and that was the end of P3 and our practice run. So pretty much a carbon copy of exactly the first incidents we did in P1, but this time it was a lot more speed, a lot harder into the barrier, and we lost our wheel. Anyway, on to qualifying, Q1, and we only did one lap. In Q1 we did a 1:25.4, which was enough to get us through. Q2 though was a bit of a struggle. This was our third time lap, and we was trying so hard to get up. We actually got an initial P7 there with a 1:24.7, but we was trying to improve, but just wasn't to be. This is lap 5, but we're down. We didn't improve on our time. So for the first time this season, we haven't actually made it into Q3, and we end up qualifying in 11th place. So let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Spanish Grand Prix. In pole position is Sebastian Vettel ahead of teammate Raikkonen. It's an all Mercedes second row with Hamilton leading Bottas. All Red Bull third row with Ricciardo in front of Verstappen. We then have Massa, myself after grid penalties, Esteban Ocon and Danik Kvyat at the top 10, Alonso 11th, Stroll 12th, Perez 13th, Hulkenberg 14th, Grosjean 15th, all with penalties, Carlos Sainz 16th, Palmer 17th, Stoffel van Dorms 18th, Pascal Wehrlein 19th, and Marcus Ericsson bringing up the rear in 20th. Despite not getting into Q3, pretty good start after all the grid penalties.
Right, let's be patient going into turn 1. We want to be in a good position for the rest of the race.
Decided to slightly underfuel my car. I did put a bit more on than they anticipated, but we're off on the formation lap, guys, and trying to get those tyres warmed up as we leave our grid slot. warming the tyres and doing our practice shenanigans. Right behind Felipe Massa. So 8th place, we should get a good run down to turn 1, hopefully. Hopefully we can keep ourselves out of trouble and make some places up. Alright, time for lights to go out. And we are racing! Man, they were on for a long time. Anyway, a bit of wheel spin, bogged down for a start. Seem to have the upper hand on Massa at this point. We have got Ocon though right behind us. He's coming up alongside us. There's actually a slight contact possibly there as well. As we head into the first corner, we've actually been penalised for contact there. I think we've actually gone into Ricciardo slightly as well, who gives us a nice little barge back to say, oi, don't touch me, I'm going to do that. Massa has taken us on the outside. We get a bit of grass as we head down to the end of the first sector. So we haven't gained, we haven't lost. That is the main thing here. So yeah, had to apply the brakes there because we was almost about to drive into the back of Felipe Massa there. But as we decided to switch around, dive down the inside and take the place from Massa in a clean move. So up to P7 behind Daniel Ricciardo at the minute as we head down into the middle of the second sector here. Coming up to the fast right-hander. And yeah, I think we're going to take another look at the start. So let's have a look at it from this point of view. Everyone cleanly away. I thought I got a pretty good start. Ocon is right there with us. We just a little touch there. It seemed a lot more on the onboard, but yeah, we kind of get pinched a bit here. We lock up the brakes into Ricciardo. Unfortunately, Ocon tries to go down the inside, but we kind of prevent that, and then Ricciardo gives us a good shove to the outside of the corner, which puts us offline and allows Massa to nicely coast around the outside of us and take 7th place. But luckily, like I said, we managed to hang on to the back of him and decided to do kind of like a little switch to the inside here and took the place so close. It actually looked like we'd hit contact, but from the onboard, I think it was pretty clean. There wasn't any contact at all. So yeah, and we're out of trouble now, so just try and keep our head down for a bit and press on and build some momentum throughout the rest of the first lap. Bit of a oversteer moment there, a little bit too much power too early on, but we've managed to keep the car and the position, most importantly. On to lap 2 now and the end of the first sector, and we get it horribly wrong here. We actually get a big moment there of oversteer. Managed to keep it out the barrier quite luckily, but we had built a bit of a gap over Massa, but that's unfortunately going to open that up and make him right on my tail again. Hopefully we can hold it down into the these fast corners here, but I think we've regained the rhythm, regained the momentum. So yeah, we're going to actually hold on to 7th place here, but it has opened up the gap between us and Ricciardo. Ricciardo and the leaders have streamed ahead, but as we look at that again, we're too slow in here. We almost took too much speed, too much turn into that corner. Ended up correcting ourselves, but yeah, we had a really big moment. If Massa had been any closer, I think we would have actually wiped him out. A little lock up there as we're trying to recover, but yeah, some crazy stuff well held there. But I think you'll also see here as we enter onto this back straight, Massa was all over the back of me. It didn't really seem like he was that close from the onboard, but as we come around the corner here, you can see he is flying, and I think he got distracted there by trying to defend against the Toro Rosso, sorry, behind him. So I think that actually helped us out in the end. Even with DRS, he couldn't get near us. But this is the onboard of Massa where we actually lost it, and yeah. It could have been disastrous for us. Could have been disastrous for our race, and we could have lost absolutely everything right there. So on to lap 7, and Massa actually pitted on lap 6, trying to undercut us. So this stop is very crucial as we break down to the line, probably a little bit too early. We've got Kvyat behind us as well. So I think he was the Toro Rosso that was behind Massa. So we need a nice clean stop here, guys, because we are going to be racing Massa on the exit. 2.7 seconds, not a bad stop. Now, hopefully we are still ahead of Massa. I've not seen him come through. I can't see him on the map either. So I think that's probably him coming down there. So I think we're going to have enough space here. It's going to be close because he's going to have momentum coming into Soren. We've got a tight turn into corner turn 1. But yeah, no, we have got enough of a gap. The undercut, unfortunately, didn't work for Massa. But luckily for us, we managed to retain the place. Although we're down in P12 because of pit stops right now. So yeah, it was a nice kind of exit. I was kind of, trying to be as tight as I can. I've been trying to practice the pit entries as well, but clearly I was a bit too tentative right here. But yeah, good stuff by the Haas guys. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Got us out in front of everybody. The stops haven't been too bad actually. I think my quickest stop so far in the game is a 2.5, I think. So yeah, managed to get out as well before the Renault. The Toro Rosso, though, seemed to release right in front of the Renault. I know he's going to turn in there, but yeah. And then we'll see here, as we come out of the pit exit, we've got Massa just coming over the crest there, over the start-finish straight. So all in all, in the end, it wasn't that close between us and Massa. It was more of a race between Massa and Kvyat, which Massa looks to have gained as we take a look on the onboard from Felipe Massa as he comes around the final corner. We're going to be emerging from the pits in a minute with Daniel Kvyat behind us, so we're off in the distance. There's Kvyat, but yeah, I think Massa could have been got by Kvyat there under braking, but he had the turning, he had the speed, he had the warmer tyres, so Massa retains the place. Anyway, there wasn't really anything else that went on in the race. We just held 7th. I actually turned the engine mode down because we was maintaining a solid 3-second gap. No, Massa wasn't really gaining on us. We weren't gaining on the guys in front, so I just thought, you know what, we're just going to shift really early, take the car nice and early, save the engine and the components a bit. As you can probably see, we're at like plus 0.42 of a lap, nearly half a lap of fuel up. We've been taking it that easy, but yeah, just there we had a moment at the end of sector 2. We I saw it was like the leaders had finished, and I just had a lapse of concentration. Was totally in the wrong gear, but yeah, luckily we had enough of a buffer between us and Massa, keeping that 3-second gap. But we came home to take 7th place in the Spanish Grand Prix. So yeah, as we take another look at that moment where I just didn't brake, I didn't slow the car down enough and just ran totally wide, nice and sensible over the painted areas, and on our way we go. So yeah, not a real big issue at all, but yeah, I was pleased, happy to come home in 7th place. I think that's probably the best result of the season. I think 8th was my previous best. I'd have to go back and watch the other races. So, yeah, a career and season best result right there. I really felt I had the pace. I was, the best of the midfield runners, but we were just nowhere to keep up with the front runners at all. But to be ahead of all the other midfield teams is certainly a great achievement, I feel. Congratulations to Kimi Räikkönen for winning the race. He absolutely ran off with it, I think. But yeah, I'm happy with the race. Very happy indeed.
Behind you, how much fuel can you save? If you answer all of those questions correctly, you'll have a good chance. And that's exactly what happened today.
Kimi Räikkönen takes the win, with Sebastian Vettel and Valtteri Bottas making the top 3. Hamilton, Ricciardo, Vettel, myself, Massa, Kvyat and Grosjean make up the top 10 in today's race. Looking at the driver's standing, Kimi Räikkönen currently leads with 97 points, followed by Valtteri Bottas, Hamilton, Vettel, Ricciardo, Verstappen, Felipe Massa, Perez, myself and Esteban Ocon make up the top 10 in the championship. Our teammate Roman Grosjean is down in 14th place. Looking at the constructors, Ferrari take a 7-point lead over Mercedes at this point with 164 points. Then it's Red Bull Racing, followed by Williams, Force India and Haas are leading the midfield battle, with Toro Rosso and Renault not faring too well underneath. McLaren and Sauber both yet to score this season. Guys, thank you very much for watching. We'll be back real soon with the Monaco Grand Prix. As always, like, comment, subscribe down below. Until next time, I've been Nock, you've been awesome. Happy gaming.